I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TV Guidance Counselor. I am, as always, Ken Reed, your TV Guidance Counselor, here on year 11 of the show that we've been doing since Valentine's Day 2014. And still enjoying it. Hopefully you are too. Still getting new listeners, which is kind of amazing to me. So if you're new, welcome. My guest this week is not new. He's been on the show before, back in 2018, I believe, where I recorded this in a studio with him in person. But today we did remote, but that's fine. We still had a lot of fun, maybe even more fun. Not saying I had more fun with him not having to be in the room with him, but I did just say that. But that's not a reflection on him. My guest this week is Jordan Morris, who's a writer, podcaster. Jordan has a new book up for pre-order right now called Youth Group. It's a new graphic novel. He's done a couple graphic novels. It's really great. Pre-order it now wherever fine books or graphic novels are sold. Your local comic shop, preferably. That's me saying that, not Jordan saying that, but wherever you can find it, buy it. It's very good, and he's a good dude, and I was very happy to sit down and talk to him. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guest, the returning Jordan Morris.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
Live via satellite, Jordan Morris. How are you, sir?
Hi. Am I coming in okay? Is the satellite transmitting my voice
It
properly?
It is indeed. The here at Mission Control, it looks good.
All sorts of men in short sleeve white shirts and black ties are now all applauding.
Yep. A lot of guys
did
dressed
it.
like Dave Thomas, Wendy's
Yeah.
Dave Thomas, not SCTV
Right.
Dave Thomas, are very excited about this.
Wait, did Dave Thomas of Wendy's dress like he worked at NASA?
Oh yeah. Short sleeve. Oh yeah. If someone
Okay.
told you, if you didn't know who Dave Thomas was and you'd never heard of Wendy's, and they got this guy out and they were like, guess this man's job, you'd be like, owns a fast food chain or is some kind of supervisor at NASA.
I guess I envision him in like a red apron, but I could be thinking of another fast food man. Anyway.
Just because he can't pronounce hamburgers correctly and calls them hamburgers.
Boy, the things I don't remember about Dave Thomas, founder of
Yeah,
Wendy's.
you blocked this out. What was your fast food go-to growing up?
Oh, gosh.
I say growing up. I'm implying you don't have one now.
Yeah, well, right now, Popeyes. I am close to a Popeyes. It's my world.
Well, it's Louisiana fast.
Of course, yes. Get those Bayou flavors in Southern California. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's see. What did we eat a lot of growing up? We did eat a lot of KFC. That was a big treat. Weeknight. Dad's coming home with a sack of KFC. That was
I don't
always
feel like
fun.
cooking tonight. Yeah.
Oh, and grew up in Southern California, so In-N-Out Burger. I'm one of those In-N-Out Burger rules people that I think are annoying to everyone else in the rest of the country. And I even like the fries. I know that the fries are kind of controversial, but I love them and still love an In-N-Out Burger to this day.
They're only controversial because it's like they don't meet the quality of the rest of the stuff. They're like fine, but you know,
so many people think that I don't think I'm being gaslit. I do think people genuinely don't love the fries. I love them. I love that they're just these crispy little potato nubbins. I like that you can get them well done. I like that. I don't know. I enjoy the fries legitimately. To me, it's not a concession, but I realize it's such a widely held opinion. I
mean, crispy little potato nubbins was the tagline for Potato Head Kids, the Saturday morning cartoon in the mid-80s.
Right. But yeah, Mr. Potato Head would come home. He finds the house trashed. He's like, those potato nubbins.
Yep. That was an actual cartoon. I don't know if you recall.
I don't remember it, but I totally believe it was true.
There was so many kids, junior babies versions of cartoons in the 80s and 90s that people do not remember over and above Muppet Babies. Can you name any? See if you can think of any.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I do remember the Flintstone Kids.
Yep.
And a pup named Scooby Doo.
Yep. Two good ones.
Two pretty good ones. I have fond memories of a pup named Scooby Doo. They had this running gag where there was this mean bully in town named Red Herring, and he never did it. He never was the one committing the crime, but you always kind of thought he was. And I think like Fred had a grudge against him and would always blame him, but it was never him, even though he was like a shitty bully. I don't know, a pup named Scooby Doo, kind of funny.
Well, a lot of the people that worked on that worked on later on Tiny Toons, which is another one. And
really?
Batman the Animated Series. Yeah, I believe Paul
gosh.
Dini and Bruce Timm worked on Pup Named Scooby-Doo in some
Legends.
capacity. Yeah, there was also Pink Panther and Sons.
Okay.
Captain Caveman and Son.
Oh, yeah. And later, Captain Caveman teamed up with the Teen Angels, who are a
did indeed.
Charlie's Angels knockoff.
He did indeed. And maybe the most overlooked and the most ridiculous, Yo Yogi.
Oh, Yo Yogi, that's right. And Yo Yogi was kind of like, it was the 90s, so they gave him a little like skateboard aesthetic, right?
He was also a little bit urban too.
A little
he was
urban,
like kind
yeah.
of a, he had a little Martin thing going on.
I
Filthy mouth.
right. I wrote for a season of a TV show that is not out yet. It is called Jellystone. There are some episodes of Jellystone up, but the episodes I worked for are coming in 2024. And it is like a mashup of Hanna Barbera IP. Like everything that wasn't being used is fair game in Jellystone. So it's Yogi and Boo Boo, but also Top Cat and Snagglepuss and yeah, and they just love including those deep cut Hanna-Barbera characters, and that was a big part of the job, is just like Googling the history of Hanna-Barbera, finding a character that nobody's talked about since 1962 and seeing if you can find a story for them. Such a fun job. I can't wait for the seasons we worked on to come out, because we really have
so incredibly jealous.
I think
of
you'll
this.
love it, Ken. As somebody
yeah.
who knows what Yo Yogi is, I think you're going to love it.
See, now, and we'll get to this guy in a moment, but now you've intrigued me. So you didn't get a lister. They weren't like, here's all the characters you could use. They were just like, you'd have to like find and pitch if you wanted to use like, Augie Doggy or whatever.
Right. So Augie Doggy is like a regular character on the show.
Okay. Great babe.
But like, for instance, something that we never cracked that I always wanted to was I love Jabberjaw. Right,
the curly,
the
curly
shark that
jaws,
talked like Curly, that was in an underwater band with humans.
Yeah.
And Jabberjaw is a character on the show, but I guess her band, Jabberjaw, played by the great Nicole Thurman now. Jabberjaw's band was never a part of the show, so I was kind of always trying to find pitches for, Bubbles and Clamhead and Shelly, the Neptunes.
Oh man, I'd be so Funky Phantom, Dynamut.
Funky Phantom makes an appearance. Dynamut makes an appearance. Yeah.
In Chai Private Eye, I'd be insufferable in that writer's room.
You're gonna love this season, man. You're gonna love it.
Insufferable.
Galtar makes an appearance.
Nice. The Space Stars, the Teen Force.
There might be a Teen Force episode.
Oh my god. Oh wow. Okay.
Frankenstein Jr. might be popping up.
I got Frankenstein Jr. and Buzz Corey right above me. Right. I'm not gonna lift them up, but right on this wall here, I have like a 3 foot tall wooden painted Frankenstein Jr.
Hell yeah. Oh, another one we couldn't crack was the Impossibles. We had an Impossibles thing that kind of almost made it, but got thrown out in the last minute. So maybe future seasons of Jellystone will include the superpowered Beatles knockoff the Impossibles.
Yeah, and they could fight the Robonic Three Stooges.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, into it. So you have done the show before, but the last time we did this, we were in a fancy studio, not my own, in Southern California. It was very exciting, and now I'm in my home and you're in your home, and we're probably more comfortable.
I'm pretty comfortable. We have all our knickknacks around us.
Couple of patty whacks.
A couple patty whacks. I'm going to take a little patty whack break midway through if you don't mind. It relaxes me.
I think that paddywhack presumably means you're punching an Irishman.
Is that where
Right?
that came from? I'm sure.
Well, what
sure
else
it's
is a paddywhack?
You're right. I'm sure it's an old-timey slur that we just casually say in rhymes these days.
I mean, unless it's them jagging off.
It sounds a little bit like jacking off to me, but maybe it's when you
Either
jack
way.
off an Irishman.
Knick-knack paddywhack sounds wrong.
Sure. I mean, give a dog a bone.
That's at least a thing. Like, that's a
Sure,
double
you're
entendre.
right. You're right. Dogs do like
But
to
I'm
chew
like, dogs
bones,
like
so-
bones. Yeah, you know. But Nursery Rhyme Talk is a different podcast that I plan to spin off in 2024. I remember the day in stand-up when people on stage like willfully, ignorantly dissecting nursery rhymes was superseded by rap lyrics the same way. It was somewhere around 2005.
They're like people don't love the Humpty Dumpty material like they used to.
Yeah, but the
They
Humpty
want
Dance
Humpty
now
Dance material. The Humpty Dance,
And-
however,
brings us back to Burger King.
brings us back to Burger King.
So the issue here you picked.
Have you been in those
this-
bathrooms? Have you
I
been
have.
in the? Do you know what's going on in those Burger King bathrooms?
Yeah, it's we call it busy work.
Right.
So this issue here, this is a Steubenville, Ohio edition, and I don't know anything about the Midwest. I've never been to Ohio, but Steubenville is one of my favorite named cities.
Right. It sounds like somewhere that Bugs Bunny makes a wrong turn.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
a wrong turn at Steubenville, and he's looking at his map.
And this is an issue from July 16th to the 22nd, 1994. This is prime MTV years for me.
Yes.
Exemplified by the fact that it is the 25th anniversary of the moon landing and the 5th anniversary of MTV's House of Style. So
Guess
the
what gets
cover,
the cover.
the cover is Cindy Crawford on the moon. And I
Yes.
love the tagline where it says, "One small step for Cindy, one giant leap for mankind." She gets top billing over the moon.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what shines brighter, the moon or the brightest star?
It's true.
And
It's
in
true.
1994, that was her. Yeah, Cindy Crawford is still my poll for Babe. You know, when you need to say like, you know, when you just need to reference a random babe, my first thought is always Cindy Crawford, and I have to correct myself. I'm like, okay, there have been other babes since Cindy Crawford, but I don't know. She's in a weird way, she's the alpha and omega when it comes to babes.
And I bet when you mention that, no one ever questions it.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, you're just second guessing yourself, but everyone else is like, yeah, what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
We have no issues there. Do you follow her on Instagram?
I don't. I guess I don't know too much about what Cindy is up to these days.
Which I would recommend. It's a good follow.
she's a
And
good follow.
not that I'm encouraging stalking, but if you ever go to Malibu Farms, the restaurant at the end of Malibu Pier, she's often there.
Okay. I'm not, I bet it's a great restaurant.
Very tasty.
yeah,
If you're a fan of Back to the Beach, it's also the shooting locations for that film. So, if you
Really?
need a cover story, you could
Yeah. I'm here because I'm a Fishbone fan.
Yes, I know how to Jamaica Scott. Before we get to the listings
we
here,
all
there's
saw the movie. The movie taught
yes,
us.
we love it. Fishbone should have been. They're basically a live action Hanna Barbera cartoon,
Yeah, I know. They're,
right?
yeah. And honestly, yeah, right. In 1989, you could have sold that pitch.
Hey, same name. You wouldn't have done anything.
Fishbone, yeah, plays a show and then solves a mystery.
Yeah, I think we just sold the show. They're up for it. Or you could mash up Wishbone and Fishbone.
Oh yeah.
Have a little cute dog.
Sure.
And
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's sit down with Max. Let's sit down with
Yep.
Paramount Plus. We're just gonna say ska has never been hotter.
Nope. And it's never been cooler either. So they had a short-lived feature in TV Guide in the early mid-90s, and it was What I Watch, and it would just be a random celebrity, and the randomness of the celebrity was always kind of impressive. It would be everyone from like Martha Stewart to G. Gordon Liddy to like it would just be all over the place.
Right.
And this time it's What I Watch Alec Baldwin because he's promoting
Yes.
The Shadow.
Mhm.
And normally I'm kind of surprised. Like almost every single one of these, what I watch, I'm always like, oh, wow, really? This one, not surprised at all.
Right.
It's just CNN.
I know. That makes total sense.
He also says Homicide: Life on the Street, which features his brother Daniel. He does not watch that. He clearly just said that because his brother's on it.
Right. Doesn't he even make a little? God, it's been a hot second between us recording this and me reading this. Doesn't he make a little "you can't say anything these days" type remark? Like
oh yeah,
PC culture is getting out of control.
He goes, where is it? Yeah, it's when you spend a lot of time in Los Angeles. What does the city seem to be the scene of so many of the scandals that take center stage on newscasts these days? And he says, there's spontaneous combustion in Los Angeles that makes every tragedy play out as if it's forthcoming movie of the week, which sadly is what these news stories quickly become. Smart guy, that Alec Baldwin. He's the intellectual of the Baldwins. Then there's a review in here, Jeff Jarvis, Couch Critic, of the Stephen Banks show.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you about that. I do not remember this at all. We watched a fair amount of PBS in my house growing up, but apparently PBS had a sitcom?
Yes.
And who is Stephen Banks? Please tell me. I wanted to look it up, but I'm like, I bet Ken knows what this was.
I know of this show, but only from reading about it. I don't recall this being on. I've never seen it. I remember it being talked about as like a real standout show. Like they would put it in the category of like It's Gary Shandling Show and Larry Sanders, actually, because it was sort of a knowing, self-aware sitcom, and he was a stand-up. And I've never seen this. I haven't found footage of this show. And it was one of I think the only American original sitcom production for PBS.
Okay, so the promo photo they use for this is Stephen Banks, who's a, kind of a down the middle, goofy white guy.
Yep.
Maybe a little Pete Holmes energy coming off Stephen Banks.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Yeah, and he is wearing pajamas. He is in front of an American flag, and he's doing like a guitar strum jump, but his guitar is a broom. What the fuck is this show?
That's the humor. And then speaking of patty wax, the caption under the photo says Stephen Banks brings Yank Yucks to PBS.
Yank Yucks. I missed that.
So the article's interesting because it does talk about how PBS was really struggling. And this is true. 94 PBS was like at maybe its lowest point ratings wise and finance wise since it started. But what really, speaking of Wishbone, what really ended up saving it was they really like doubled down on kid stuff. They kind of stopped trying to produce adult content and were just like more kid stuff. And that seems to have saved them. Stephen Banks was not their savior.
I vaguely remember they tried an animated car talk show at some point, didn't they?
Yes.
When was that?
Yes, they
that
did.
was like more recent.
Yeah, I think it was in the 2000s. I used to walk by the studio every day, once a week at least, where they would record that show. And then so to celebrate the moon landing, they have a huge article in here about like what was going on in 1969, but also just like space age mania. So it's everything from Star Trek to My Favorite Martian. Right. It's kind of just here's what it was like then.
Yes. Yeah, I know. It's like if we realize this is maybe a little bit educational for TV Guide, so it's like here's the funniest My Favorite Martian quotes.
And then
lest we be considered too highbrow here at TV Guide.
I can't tell if this is a bit or if they actually asked these people, because it says Moon Talk, what TV's sci-fi travelers would have said if they'd been the first to set foot on the moon. And then it has quotes attributed to people, but they seem like this is so Mad Magazine.
Right.
Like Larry Hagman of I Dream of Jeannie says, I wonder if there's oil up here.
Sure. I know with the Gulf War raging, I'm sure that was a topical comment.
Dallas.
Oh yeah. I see. You're right. That's what that's a joke about.
Shatner says one giant leap for a man, one small step for mankind.
Mm-hmm.
But here's
Shatner, but
here's where I think it's real. Can you
Okay.
guess which of the remaining quotes nails it for me that these are real quotes?
Oh gosh, let's see. I'd like to thank Mission Control for getting me here alive. Now, how does a fellow eat something with this suit on? From Barry Corbin of Northern Exposure?
Right. He played a astronaut on the show, an ex-astronaut. No, it's Avery Brooks of Deep Space Nine saying, God is magnificent.
Right. That's
Which I feel like he just answers the phone that way.
God is magnificent. Hello.
It's Avery Brooks.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they didn't write that.
A lot of
He
people
said
think
that.
it was man's ingenuity that got us
No.
to the moon. No, 'twas God.
It was God. He just
'Twas-
made us
yes.
wait a while.
'Twas God sent man to the moon.
Then there's a whole 2-page spread of Cindy Crawford doing every facial expression emotion possible for her.
Yeah, this is like I've done a little work in the YouTube space, and after you do a YouTube video, you need a thumbnail face.
Yeah.
You aware
Yeah.
of this this phenomenon?
This is thumbnail face.
Cindy
1994.
Crawford. I don't know if she has a YouTube channel, but her fucking thumbnail faces would be impeccable. I want to every one of these faces. I want to click on that video.
I feel like as
she
a,
looks like she's saying I ate everything at Red Lobster.
right. I visited every remaining Kmart and used their bathrooms.
I
feel
rank
like
my favorite cake pops.
favorite Vince Neil weight gains. Yeah, I feel like as a social experiment, we could clip each one of these, make a thumbnail for a fake YouTube channel, and have the videos be just and not completely unrelated, and just see how many clicks we got.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, sure. Just try it right. I
Nail it.
found a secret Minecraft server.
Right. Yeah. Women like to be treated badly.
Oh yeah, just have some kind of infuriating headline and Cindy Crawford making a face.
And so this is the 5 years House of Style.
Animals like to be thrown out a window.
It's okay if you eat what you kill. I loved House of Style. Watched
Me
it
too.
from day one.
Me too.
Never missed an episode. This is interesting to me as a House of Style fan because they're interviewing her about House of Style. She's doing 5 mosts because it's 5 years. 5 good
fun.
reasons viewers should never miss an episode of House of Style. She's missing some big ones here.
Sure, and these top 5. The top 5 answers she's giving are all pretty generic. Not a lot of insight here. We're not getting to learn anything of substance about Cindy Crawford. One of the 5 reasons is it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think later on it's real fun. There's lots of just kind of generic answers. Like, I need 5 of these. But yeah, I think I know the road you're going down. Keep going down, and I'll add as necessary.
So the 5 most embarrassing moments as House of Style. One of these really stuck out to me, but it's singing Tiny Bubbles with Don Ho, thinking Def Leppard was a guy's name. This is the one that stuck out. Interviewing a turtle.
Yeah,
Dumb
do you know
Dancing
that
with
episode
Will
off
Smith.
the Dome? Do you remember
Of course,
the turtle
yeah.
episode?
There's a style.
Okay.
Realizing RuPaul looked better in a dress than me. But then the world's 5 most stylish people. There's one of these people I don't know who they are. I will flat out tell you.
I
know who they are.
don't see this one. Please read them off. to me.
And one of them is a real shock. So I'm going to read them to you in the order with the shocking one last. So it's Marilyn Monroe, Jackie O, Diana Vreeland. That's the one I don't know. I assume she's like a designer or something. And Audrey Hepburn. And then this is weird. Pat Riley.
The basketball coach?
Yep.
Wow. Did Pat Riley, was he known for looking great?
No, he'd wear suits and he had slick back hair. And he'd swear a
That's
lot.
so weird. What do you think that is? Do you think that was just her whatever coach, whatever team Pat Riley coached was her basketball team?
I feel like, so I know nothing. I think it was college basketball that he was a
Okay.
coach of, maybe.
I think
But
I only remember his name because he had a Sega Genesis game. I think there was a Pat Riley basketball for Sega Genesis. I am so not a sports fan. Most of my sports knowledge is connected to a Sega Genesis game somehow.
Yeah, like Bill Lambier's combat basketball.
Bill Lambier's combat basketball specifically. Dick Vitale's awesome baby.
Exactly. Yeah,
might have
Pat
been
Riley
Super
was my
Dick,
go-to basketball reference for years just because I found him funny. But I think because he wore suits, like all the other coaches would wear like, look like they were golfing.
Okay.
But he'd wear like business suits. So they were like, wow.
So he got points for just like throwing on a suit.
Yeah, how amazing. Here's the one I really like, though. 5 people she'd like to make over on House of Style.
Okay.
Michael Jackson. Meatloaf. Hammer.
Okay.
Vince Neil. And Tanya Harding.
I just like seeing Tanya Harding on that was such a treat. There's so many just great 90s tabloid references in this issue. I think there's a Lorena Bobbitt joke somewhere in the issue. There's a couple of OJ jokes somewhere in the issue. And it just takes me back. It just takes me back when like those and Mary Jo Buttafuoco, those things were just the topic of all jokes. Like all jokes were about one of those 4 things.
Yeah, that's when Letterman really started to go down the toilet, when all of his jokes just became like those references for 5 years.
Yeah. What else did Letterman get obsessed with? Boutros Ghali.
Yep. Her 5 favorite TV stars are the cast of Seinfeld and Chris Farley.
Yep. Yeah. She laughs. Cindy Crawford, huge Seinfeld fan, I guess.
So there's some interesting stuff in here. Her predictions for the future of fashion, none of which have come true, I don't think. The thing that really freaks me out here, so this is celebrating the 5th anniversary of House Style and the 25th anniversary of the moon landing, but this issue is 30 years old. There's 5 years more between us in this issue than between Cindy Crawford and the moon landing in this issue.
Oh boy. Death comes for us all, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
It's lurking over our shoulders as we speak.
Yep.
The grim.
Then there's a good article on TV Nation with Michael Moore, who is very Dave Thomas like.
That's right. Yeah, he has some Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's energy.
I loved TV Nation. It was really good.
I did too. I can't really remember anything from it. Maybe there's one thing I kind of remember where he like spent a day with NRA people.
Yep.
I remember liking TV Nation too. It'd be interesting to revisit it, but I have like vague positive memories of it without a lot of specifics.
There was only like 6 episodes. It was a summer replacement series, and Janine Garofalo was one of the correspondents, and she did a thing where the beaches in Connecticut are private for like residents of the cities only, even though they get federal tax dollars. So the thing was they took busloads of people from New York City up to go to the beaches, and the city had like cops like make a wall so they couldn't get on the beach.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So then they got a boat and came in to get on the beach from the water.
That's funny.
It was great.
There's only 6 episodes of this?
Yeah.
Did they like rerun them on Comedy Central or something? I feel like I remember this more than 6 episodes.
He also had a show on Bravo, I want to say, called The Awful Truth, which was basically the same show.
Okay.
And that went for a few years, so I think they kind of all meshed together. But TV Nation, I believe, was only 6.
Okay. That might be what I'm remembering.
So let's dive in here. Saturday night.
Yeah, this is, by the way, this was so much fun to revisit this. I had such a hard time picking my shows. There's so many great options here. I'm just kind of realizing what a fun time for TV this was for me personally. I think I was like about 13. No, how old was I here? Maybe I was 11 or 12. And I just like, I was watching a shit ton of TV. A lot of my favorite stuff is from this era. So much fun. I had such a hard time picking stuff.
Yeah, I had just turned 14 like 2 weeks before this, and this is that magic time in the summer before you have to work a summer job, but you're old enough to kind of probably stay up really late and you just watch stuff all night all summer.
Yeah, I was 12. I did a quick little bit of head math. I was 12. This was a blast. And yeah, totally exactly what you talked about. It's like the area of your life where you're kind of independent, you can stay up late, you can kind of make some of your own entertainment choices, but you don't have the responsibility. Like High school is a little ways away. Yeah, this is it's so much fun, and still like a little bit of like overlap of like you're dipping your toe into some grown up stuff, but you can still enjoy a lot of kid stuff too. I found that really fun about this.
Yeah, like you'd be torn at 8:30 between Sex in the 90s on MTV and The Adventures of Pete and Pete on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, exactly. I had that specific dilemma when making this list of like, ooh, do I want to like, feel a little amorous watching House of Style, or do I want to, laugh at Artie, the strongest man in the world from Pete and Pete? And yeah, also something I kind of remembered, going down and making this list is like, I was 12, so I was experiencing some like early romantic feelings, and I was kind of on the hunt for, some sexier material.
Sure.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Patty whack.
So, I was, yeah. Listen, I had an Irish babysitter. If you wanna jump into it, I'm happy.
Yeah,
to
let's
jump
go. 8:00 Saturday.
Okay, so 8:00. The three things that I wrote down as maybes. Here's the things that I was considering. House of Style, of course. Clarissa Explains It All. I was a big Snick head. Saturday Night Nickelodeon, where you get some more kind of teen-focused options on Nickelodeon. But the one that I could not turn down was Hot Shots Part 2. I believe that was on HBO.
Yep, HBO premiere.
I loved those parody movies growing up, like Naked Gun, I loved, and then like Hot Shots and kind of everything from that genre. National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1.
Yeah.
I have not revisited of these movies. I've only watched Naked Gun kind of recently, and really loved that. It's hilarious.
That holds up. Hot Shots, not so much.
Oh yeah, I know. I think the thing I remember from Hot Shots is a big moment in the trailer was them dropping a comically huge bomb on a Saddam Hussein lookalike, and that being really hilarious.
Yes. I mostly remember Valeria Golino.
Oh, is that the female? Did they do a thing where they like he put a bunch of food on her and it cooked?
Ice. Yeah, it was the body heat thing. There was a parody.
Yeah,
of
it was a
Body
parody
Heat.
of
a movie that had been
hadn't
10
seen.
years old by that point.
Yeah.
But she was in like 35 movies in 2 years and then completely disappeared.
Oh, funny. Yeah, I guess I don't really remember. I mean, I think I remember having some early amorous feelings about her being a babe and all, but
Rain Man, Big Top Pee-wee, like it was a ton of movies.
Okay. Yeah, dang.
Then
Yeah,
just
and
gone.
of course, like this is also a time in my life when I was learning about pop culture through the parodies. Like I knew the parody before I knew the pop culture. Like Weird Al, like I didn't know who Nirvana was until Weird Al did a thing about them. So anyway,
it's
Hot
the Mad
Shots.
Magazine phenomenon.
Yes, exactly. You're like, oh, this is funny. I want to learn what they're making fun of. So yeah, could not turn down Hot Shots Part 2 at 8:00. And yeah, happy to move on to 8:30.
Yeah, I mean, but that's your whole night, right? Or are you flipping around?
For the exercise, I only included these movies for 30 minutes.
I see.
Just so we could get in more options.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so I think I would watch the first 30 minutes of Hot Shots Part 2.
The best part.
Yeah. All downhill after that.
All downhill after that. I know for a fact I was probably watching Cops at this point, but Austin City Limits that night I kind of want to watch now. It's Michael Nesmith and Emmylou Harris.
Yeah. Austin City Limits was going strong at this point. There were some fun options there for sure.
Looks good. And then what did you land on for the 8:30 conundrum?
And yeah, so the 8:30 conundrum, of course, Sex in the 90s and The Adventures of Pete and Pete. I think obviously like lots of love to Pete and Pete, ahead of its time. Love that theme song. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go Sex in the 90s. Just that would be super fun. And yeah, just because we've done so much Cindy Crawford talk on this episode, we need to give her flowers.
Yeah, fair enough. This is the Day of the Dot episode of Pete and Pete, which is a fantastic episode. Sex in the 90s would have aired about 3,700 times that weekend on MTV because they had like 6 hours of programming
constantly.
So I probably would have. I had that whole show memorized. This came up in another issue a while back, and so I was like, I wonder if there's clips of Sex in the 90s on YouTube. I haven't seen that probably in close to 30 years. And I found a few clips and I knew every word.
Oh, hold on. You know what I think I just did there? I think I confused House of Style and Sex in the 90s. Did Cindy
Easy to
Crawford
do.
host Sex in the 90s too?
No, it was hostless.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I vaguely remember this, right? This was like a clip show kind of thing where they had a topic every episode. Explain Sex in the 90s to me.
Yeah, it was sort of Real World-esque. So they'd go like...
Hold on. Explain sex to me.
Okay,
what is
so,
it? I've
when
heard a lot of people talking about it.
yes.
Okay.
So it was sort of Real World-esque, but they would do sort of reality clips, sort of news magazine style, and they would often do like contrasting groups of people. So in the first one, they follow around these like rednecky cowboy late teens, early 20s people going out clubbing, some like black dudes from New York, and then like some girls in Long Island and something. So, and then they kind of are interspersed with like interviews with them and, you know, how they approach things. And they also have like a story about a girl who's like HIV positive. And then like, you know, it's that kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess this was kind of like part of MTV's mission for a while, was kind of like being inclusive in this way. Like, let's show young people as they are, and kind of like, I mean, that was like the premise of The Real World, right? It's like, let's bring together people and see what they talk about. And obviously then MTV became what it became, and now it's ridiculousness. But yeah, it kind of had a utopian kind of vision at some point, right?
Yeah, they were trying. This is the last hurrah, but really fascinating show. They did three editions of that show.
Okay.
And they aired constantly, but yeah, I have them all memorized.
Okay, so yes, I think I'll still go Sex in the 90s here. That sounds really interesting, even though I'm less familiar with it. Yeah, and then if you're moving on to 9 o'clock, how do you say no to Ren and Stimpy? So this was a show as a kid where my parents banned it in the house. I think my mom got a peek at Ren and Stimpy, assumed it was a mind warper. Said no more Ren and Stimpy in the house. So I kind of had to sneak it. I had to like, sneak it at friends' houses and sneak it when parents weren't home. And yeah, it was always an illicit little treat. Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead were these like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting to watch this. Yeah, my parents were pretty like okay with me watching a variety of stuff. They were okay with The Simpsons, which is like a big one that my friends couldn't watch. And I thank them for it's still my favorite show. But yeah, I think here the naughty pleasures of getting to watch Ren and Stimpy would have been too much. So yeah, and obviously I think we've learned that the creator was an absolute monster. But
of course, the
show
show's
itself,
good.
The show itself, pretty funny.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great people aside from him behind the
of
scenes.
Course. Yeah. Totally.
That show was a weird one because it was a part of the original 3 Nicktoons. The other 2 being very sweet, edgy stylistically and different, but like sweet, wholesome. Rugrats and Doug are like very, very wholesome shows.
Right, they're very cute. Yeah, Doug is even kind of comically wholesome. Like he's such a he's such a gee whiz kind of cipher of a character.
Which is extra funny that Billy West voiced him and Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I mean, it makes total sense. But
yeah,
I guess you can hear a little bit of Doug and Fry.
Oh, yeah. It's close to his real voice. So that was very weird because Ren and Stimpy was significantly edgier than those shows. And even the second wave of Nicktoons, which amped it up a little bit. You had Rocko's Modern Life and Our Real Monsters and Hey Arnold, I think was the second wave. But also those 3 shows, also kind of sweet. Rocko's Modern Life maybe the closest to
I really liked Rocko. I was all about Rocko's Modern Life. That to me seems like it's a little bit closer to Ren and Stimpy than it is to the other ones. Rocko is a very like sweet, I guess Heifer is very sweet. So yeah, maybe it is a little more kind-hearted than the nihilistic Ren and Stimpy,
but they still had some grotesqueness with the big heads, and there was still there was some entendre there, like what the hell did Rocko do for work? Like there was a lot of weird stuff in that one, but still, it was like Ren and Stimpy is still an anomaly in the complete history of Nickelodeon's original cartoons.
Right. So yeah, Ren Stimpy at 9, and then at 9:30, I think we're doing. I'm picking another saucy choice. Dream On. So Dream On, I remember as always being a place you could go, and I don't. We had like a summer of HBO. We had HBO one summer, so there's a lot of like classic HBO that I didn't get my hands into until later. But there was a broadcast version of Dream On, wasn't there? That like cut out the nudity.
Yep. There was both Tales from the Crypt and Dream On had syndicated cuts that most local Fox affiliates aired. And they cut out the nudity and the swears. I remember a kid I went to school with, his dad used to watch Tales from the Crypt with him, but only the edited versions, and didn't know they were the edited versions. So he took him to go see Demon Night in the theater and was furious.
How bad can this be? This airs on Sunday night on Fox. How bad can this be?
Yes. But Dream On, I feel like I liked the thing. So they added a laugh track that I hated.
Right.
So on the syndicated version, they added a laugh track, but a lot of the shows were better with the boobs cut out because often it was totally shoehorned onto the show. Like it was like, well, I guess we have to.
Right. That was like part of HBO. Up until very recently, I think, is like you just kind of had to have it. You just kind of had to have like a scene take place in a strip club or something like that. Yeah, but I think the whether or not it messes with the plotting of the show, I would love to see an original episode of Dream On with the nudity. I think I've never seen one before.
It's hard to find them. The first season came out on DVD. The rest never did because of the film clips. When I talked to David Fury, who was a writer on Dream On, before
David Fury wrote on Dream On?
His first gig. Yep.
That's great, of course.
First gig. But first writing gig. He was on a soap opera before that. But yeah, he said his reason for why there were so many boobs was, quote, John Landis really liked casting.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's really funny.
But it was interesting as like a writing nerd, it was interesting talking to him about how they worked with the clips. Did they reverse engineer?
Like it would be the main character would like experience something and then remember a clip of classic TV or a classic movie or something.
Yeah, it would like enhance the joke or be the joke, which was a very very funny little weird conceit. And it was created by the people who would create Friends.
Oh my gosh, I'm learning so much.
It was the team behind Friends plus John Landis. They did Dream On and then Friends like immediately after. Which is very weird. And this particular episode, Melvin Van Peebles is in it. Sweet ass, badass song, Melvin Van Peebles, not Mario, Melvin.
Amazing. That's great. Do you know too much about what season they were on here? Is this a season of it you've seen?
This is season 4, I believe. It started in 1990, I believe the show did. The first season was only 6 episodes. This is the third full season. David Bowie was in this season. Wendy Malick played Martin Tupper's ex-wife, Brian Benben's ex-wife, and she remarried this guy who was basically like a Richard Branson, but like this huge humanitarian rich guy. So the plot for the whole season was they were making a movie of this guy's life, and David Bowie was playing the guy directing the movie. And so
sounds great.
There's this amazing scene where I still remember this joke, even though it's not like the greatest joke or anything, but he goes out to dinner with Martin, David Bowie does, because he wants to just get a feel for him so he knows who to cast as him in the movie. And he starts naming these actors and he's like, I forget who he says, but he's like, I was thinking of this person, but seeing you now, I just don't think he's bulbous enough. It's just so funny.
I'm sure Bowie nailed that.
Yeah, he nails it. It's great.
Yeah, should we move on to Sunday?
Let's do Sunday.
My initial thought was Lois and Clark. This was a big one. This is a big family watch for my family. We loved the sparkling chemistry of let's see, can I remember Terry Hatcher?
Terry Hatcher.
And oh gosh, he became kind of a Fox News weirdo.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain. There you go. He'll always be my Superman.
Yeah. You're alone with
Dean
that.
Cain guy. Watching Lois and Clark kind of seemed like fun, but then I saw Weekend at Bernie's 2, which I saw before Weekend at Bernie's 1.
Yeah.
And to me was always the superior Weekend at Bernie's, where I think he has a voodoo curse placed on him and does a little dance all throughout town every time like steel drum music plays.
Yeah. It's an actual reanimated corpse using voodoo, which is such a great escalation.
They're like, where do we go from here? Where do we go from Weekend at Bernie's?
One word, guys, voodoo. Got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. It was my pitch.
So I think I'm watching 30 minutes of Weekend at Bernie's 2, and then at 8:30, this is a show that I have a lot of warm feelings about, and always kind of like wanted to watch a little bit more of, but Living Single.
Yeah.
On 8:30, I always remember it being really funny and it kind of being like in reruns forever. Yeah, so I think I'm just going with Living Single. It seemed like a fun choice. I don't know too much about its legacy other than it was like weirdly influential. Maybe not weirdly, but just like super influential and under the radar. What do you know anything about Living Single that I should know?
Yeah. First for Lois and Clark, Elliot Gould's in this episode, so you can't go wrong with that. And people forget how huge that show was. No one gave a shit about Superman in 1994. I mean, we did. But
right, yeah.
Nobody. Like, Batman was kind of a little passé by this point, post-Batman Returns. Like, no one cared about superhero stuff. Nobody. And Lois and Clark did an amazing thing where they figured, let's cater this to women. We'll do the romantic angle. Look, Beauty and the Beast got canceled the year before, so we'll kind of try to pick that audience up.
Yeah.
And it killed. They did so well with that show. But then I also wanted to mention Dead at 21 was on MTV, and this was MTV's first scripted show.
Oh, interesting.
And
I've never heard of it. Doesn't ring a bell for me.
It was a thriller that starred Jack Noseworthy, who you may remember from the Brady Bunch movie. And the villain of the film was played by Whip Hubley.
Okay.
Who used to
be some great names. Jeez.
Yes. He used to be Kurt Russell's brother-in-law, Whip Hubley. And the premise of this show is this kid at age 18 finds out that he was, as a kid, the result of some kind of military experiment. Okay. And he has a chip in his brain that will kill him when he turns 21.
Wow. So
he goes on the run to try to find like the conspiracy and someone to take this chip out, like so he can survive. And they had this plan to go for 3 seasons, and it lasted 8 episodes.
This sounds super ahead of its time. This does sound like a Hulu thing. This sounds like a streaming Hulu thing that a like movie star does, because they're trying to pivot to TV.
I remember at the time somebody, I forget who, it might have been one of the producers or someone, but it was like, it's Grunge Fugitive. And I was like,
I mean, great pitch.
Sure. So I did want to mention that. Living Single is fantastic. It's a huge influence on Friends specifically.
Sure.
It's a good version of Friends. It's the blue collar version of Friends with likable people who actually seem like friends.
Okay.
And very funny, really good cast. It's a great show. Like it holds up really well. I can't say enough good things about Living Single. It's great. Also, one mention, former guest of the show, friend of the show, Judd Winnick. MTV's Real World episode that night. Judd's diligent job hunting finally pays off. Good job, Judd.
Oh, good. I'm glad his job hunting finally paid off because he was so diligent about it.
Yes. I think the gig he got was cartooning. Like he sold a syndicated cartoon.
Oh, cool. Good for him. I hope that cartoon is still syndicated to this day.
Well, then he moved on to DC.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh.
He created the Red Hood.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
He brought back Jason Todd. He's the man who did it.
These are some wonderful connections we're making. So at 9:00, I went with Married with Children. Super excited to see which episode of Married with Children this is. That was another. I don't think we had a strict ban on this show, but Mom didn't like it. He thought there were too many put downs. Mom thought there was too many put downs in this show. And to her credit, there were a lot of put downs.
Yep.
So.
God forbid you're a fat woman. Married with children
right,
wanted
and
you
you go
dead.
into Al Bundy's shoe store.
Yeah.
There was something on at 9 called Good Morning, Mr. Hitler. What
Yes.
do you know what that is?
Good Morning, Mr. Hitler is a documentary.
Okay.
So it's not like Good Morning Vietnam or like a funny.
Or Good Morning America
presentation.
with
Yeah.
an unusual host.
Yeah. This was, let's see what channel it's on. I think it's on A&E. It's a documentary of some sort. And it's, where am I seeing it here? I can't see it at 9 o'clock for some reason.
I was kind of like, my thought was like, oh, is this some sort of like edgy alternative comedy thing that like a young Bob Odenkirk was
Oh no,
involved
here's what it
with?
is. It's on Discovery. It's a documentary,
Okay.
and it's footage from 1939 of Adolf Hitler attending a music and arts festival in Munich.
Oh. Well, I think I'm still going with Married with Children then.
Yeah, probably
it does
slightly
not change
less
my
offensive.
answer.
Yeah, Married with
And-
Children shockingly aired for a really long time. It went, I think, 11 seasons. It ended in 98.
You know, it's Married with Children is one of these where I for some reason I got it into my head. How did this thing end? And I just on whatever streaming thing it was on, I skipped to the last episode and watched it. And it's just this random episode about Al like trying to get a new chair, like trying to
Yeah.
get a recliner that he wants. They didn't have like a big ending to it.
No, I think they didn't know they were getting canceled, and it ended up being like, this is the last episode kind of scenario.
It does kind of seem like that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'd think they would, give them the like hour movie finale, right? Or the 2 hour anyway.
But the ratings on that show were dismal by the end. Like Fox had totally eclipsed the 1987 I mean, that was an original Fox show that was still on. Aside from America's Most Wanted and Cops, it was the only first season Fox show that was still on by 98. And it had been totally overshadowed by, Martin and The Simpsons and Living Single and, so it really felt old.
So the cast didn't get that chance to go out there and take that final bow.
They
and
didn't.
Get
They
their
didn't.
roses thrown at them.
And only Faustino is mad about it.
Yeah, kind of everybody. I don't know what Faustino's up to these days, but everybody else kind of seemed to like.
Everyone
land
else
on their
doing
feet,
okay.
But
Everyone else is doing okay. You passed up Time Trax.
what's Time Trax?
Time Trax was a syndicated sci-fi show that was basically Time Cop.
Oh, okay.
And again,
Because there was a Time Cop show for a hot second.
there
wasn't
there was. But Time Trax was sort of a ripoff, really. This one is topical. And also, as a guest star, friend of the show, former guest, Vanessa Angel is in this episode. But it says, an anti-gravity belt that Darren considers, quote-unquote, inherently dangerous attracts the attention of a ruthless Iraqi colonel.
Oh, boy. Ripped from the headlines.
Yes. This anti-gravity belt is inherently dangerous.
So, yes, we can debate the ethics of anti-gravity till the cows come home.
Yes. I invented this anti-gravity belt to help mankind.
Sure, to help people reach fruit.
That's right.
At 9:30, this is not a movie I have seen, but in the interest of making some, saucier choices inspired by House of Style, I picked a movie called Chained Heat 2. This is a women in prison movie.
Yes. Produced by Roger
with
Corman.
very sexy box art.
Yes. Produced by Roger Corman.
Of course.
I believe the original was directed by Jonathan Demme.
Really? Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
1978 or 77, I want to say.
Maybe I need to get into the Chained Heat universe.
I'm going to go to the movie section and see. They only give it 2 stars.
Maybe that's just because it's Chained Heat 2. Maybe they just thought that would be
1
cute.
star
It's
per
probably
sequel.
a really good movie.
Let's see. Let's see what they have to say. They say Canadian, 1993. Sexual situations, violent, strong language, sleazy tale of an American tourist trapped in a Czech prison.
It's Brigitte Nielsen's in this. Oh my
She is.
god.
She's the warden.
No way
obviously.
this is 2 stars. This is at least
Yeah.
4 stars.
Yeah. There's at least 1 star, and her name's Brigitte Nielsen.
There you go. Yes.
I thought you were going to say Sniper with Tom Beringer, because that's on at the same time, and I'm like, is that
I
saucy?
thought about Sniper. But no,
think that's saucy.
Chained Heat 2 won out.
Is there anyone who's a huge Tom Beringer fan?
I don't know. Maybe our moms were at some point. Maybe he was.
But he was a big movie star for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, no one. When's the last time, aside from just now, when's the last time you heard somebody utter the words Tom Beringer?
It's been a while, honestly. But, I mean, maybe him and Faustino are just at the bar at the Chateau Marmont talking about the glory days back in 1992.
PIs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a pitch.
Yeah, hell yeah. Is that your whole night? Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Yeah, so Chained Heat 2 is on at 9:30, and yeah, that's Sunday.
I do want to mention this is an oddly chock full of former guests of the show on Lifetime. The drama Hidden Room is on, starring Ann Magnuson.
Oh, fun.
It's also about the show. Monday night.
Options. Monday night, 8 o'clock was tough. Yeah, a lot of great stuff on at 8. The Nanny, The Fresh Prince. I believe the Dolph Lundgren Punisher is on one of the
that's
movie
what I'm
channels.
doing. 100%. They
Yeah,
only give that
I know,
one
that
star.
was tough to pass up. But the thing that won out was Sidekicks, starring Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis.
Jonathan Brandis, rest in peace. JB.
I loved like martial arts movies, and I think I remember Sidekicks as one of the first movies I saw like by myself. Like my mom dropped me off at the mall to watch Sidekicks. So I have like very warm memories of this movie where a kid fantasizes about being Chuck Norris's friend and then by the end becomes his friend.
It's basically a ripoff of No Retreat, No Surrender, which is...
Okay, I have not seen that.
So that's a 1987 movie where a kid fantasizes that Bruce Lee is his imaginary friend.
Oh.
Not nearly the budget or slickness of Sidekicks. Sidekicks not my favorite movie. They only give that 2 stars, so they say it's as good as The Punisher. No, I'm sorry, twice as good as The Punisher, because that only gets 1 star. And King Ralph
These
is
are
on.
comparable films, I feel.
King Ralph only gets 2 stars. So they're
I
saying
thought about King Ralph too.
King
I also
Ralph
have
and
fond feelings of
Sidekicks
King Ralph.
are better than The Punisher by 1 star.
I don't believe it. Bullshit.
No, I
Who's
disagree.
giving out these stars? What kind of Philistine is
completely
giving
disagree.
out these stars?
But a lot of choices. Fair enough. You go on Sidekicks. So when you say you saw it by yourself in the mall theater, do you mean you were the only one in the theater?
No, I think I just was unaccompanied. I didn't have a parent with me. I have vague memories that was maybe the first time that I got to get like dropped off and watch a movie. So it'll always have a special place in my heart. It's probably a bad film.
And that's why you have a beard now.
And that's now, just to look more like my hero Chuck Norris.
That's
why I
right.
have this beard and these politics.
Yes, and the action jeans, everybody.
And yes, and stretchy jeans.
Yes.
So I can kick higher.
That's right.
That's why I became a Texas Ranger.
It's true. You carry a badge.
8:30, I'm going Blossom.
Great show.
That was a fun family watch for us. We love Blossom. We love Joey Lawrence.
Do you remember where you were the night There's Nothing My Love Can't Do For You, Baby, the Joey Lawrence video and single premiered as part of a Blossom episode?
I do remember that, and I loved the music video drop attached to a sitcom. The one that I will always remember, that I think our generation will always remember, is the black and white video.
Yes.
Black or white video.
That's right.
Attached to an episode of The Simpsons, I believe.
That's right. Right after Do the Bartman.
Right after, yeah. So yeah, love. But yes, I definitely remember that Joey Lawrence video playing after Blossom, and thinking it was kind of a jam. Again, something I have not revisited, but I bet it's a great song.
I mean, if you don't like to wear shirts but like denim jackets, there's your soundtrack to the summer.
That's me. That's me to a T.
Yep.
I love my nipples being chafed.
That's right.
So this is a big family night of TV for me, I'm realizing, because my next pick was Murphy Brown, another show I love to watch with Mom. Me and Mom loved Murphy Brown. My mom never forgave Dan Quayle for
a lot of
talking
moms
shit
didn't.
on Murphy Brown. Yeah.
That was a big reason they lost.
Right. I love, so we stand Murphy Brown. We love a Motown music drop. Murphy Brown, one of the greats.
A great show that's very difficult to watch now because it's so topical.
Right.
Nothing makes sense.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure there's a lot of just like I'm trying to think of something back like a lot of Clarence Thomas stuff probably,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of Clarence Thomas stuff, a lot of Bush jokes, stuff about the Iraq War, like but not it was so specific, the stuff you're like I don't understand what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely missed the reboot too, and reboot currently not streaming anywhere. That's one where I'm like, oh, I should have checked out the Murphy Brown reboot, but it seems to be just kind of lost to time.
And oddly enough, the mid 90s computer generated show reboot also not streaming.
Yeah, very right. You would think that would be a natural reboot.
Yeah,
No,
you would
nobody's
think so.
done that. I'm sure whoever created that show every couple years is like, we got to do it.
And they'll be like,
Come
you already
on.
did it.
No,
we
but
gotta
gotta
make
do
the
it. It's in the
original.
name. You got to keep doing it.
I like that show. It was basically Tron.
Oh yeah, sure.
Fair enough. So you doing Murphy Brown, and then where'd you go for the end of the night?
Okay, let's see. Sorry, I lost my place here. Murphy Brown. Oh, and this is again. I loved a martial arts movie as a kid. I don't think I've ever seen this one, but love the title. Excessive Force. Does
Yes.
this ring a bell to you?
Yes, I believe this is a Chuck Norris movie, crime drama. And I'm gonna scroll to the movie section of TV Guide, which again, as a movie nut as a kid, where all we had was like the Maltin Guide and maybe the Ebert Guide, and those were expensive.
Right.
It was amazing to have a movie guide every week.
Totally.
Excessive force, violence, sexual situation, strong language. A Chicago
Yes.
cop played by Thomas Ian Griffith is suspected
Okay.
of stealing $3 million in mob money. Also starring Lance Hendrickson, 1 star.
Yeah.
this.
Oh, cannot wait. So maybe this isn't a martial arts movie. Maybe this is more of just
No.
a thriller.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, Lance Hendrickson, not the hero of the film.
No. But yeah, no. I'm sticking with this one. It looks like a ton of fun. This was like such a fun time for action movies.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
got a
looks
very
like it's gonna
Canon
be-
Films looking vibe to it.
Yeah, this I would not be surprised if whatever this was direct to Blockbuster. But yeah, I'd be
I
excited
might
to
watch
watch
that
it.
tonight. Tuesday, what do you got?
Tuesday. Oof. Boy,
Oh, hold
another,
on 1 second before you pick. I need to point out a friend in need is a friend indeed. The Ashton Drake value doll that's for sale on page 57 of the PDF on Tuesday.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me check this out. Sorry, mine's loading.
It's all right. This is showcasing the artwork of Maybelle Lutice Atwell! ! It's only 3 payments of $19.98.
Oh,
The
good deal.
actual size of the doll is 9 inches. It's complete with bench and puppy. Issued in an edition ending forever in 1994, after which the molds for the doll will be broken and no more porcelain will ever be made.
Oh my god. Well, you got to order this doll. What are we doing?
I always wondered if they made a big dramatic thing out of breaking the molds.
Right, just to prove they're like we have we have broken the mold. We have footage of us breaking the mold. Maybe that's a heist movie. Is like
Yeah.
finding the pieces of the mold,
Some
Putting
guys
it
got
back
all
together.
the molds. Yeah.
right, and then devaluing all those dolls that they sold.
Someone paid $80 for this,
Wild.
or $60 or whatever that math is on that.
3 easy payments. Of, yeah.
This is a horrible doll. Its proportions are always so for the listener. It's this really demonic, munchie looking kid with real hair, and he's sitting on a bench crying, and his arms are 3 times as long as they should be, which is maybe why he's crying.
Yeah, toys were fucking gross when we were kids.
And this little puppy, and the puppy's cute, is like kind of consoling him. He's also dressed like a Dutch painter.
This is kind of from the like Precious Moments family of products. Maybe not exactly from that, but in that zone of product.
But the kid has divine eyebrows for some reason. He looks like an Olsen. Like if you were like, this is one of the Olsens, I would
Wild.
believe you.
I know, yeah. It's like, what happened? Why is he so sad? I guess
It's
that's
not cute. It's definitely not. Who wants a doll of a child crying?
fucking
Like
weird.
you're a creep, right? That's only
Yeah,
you have
I mean,
to be
this
a
is
creep.
not for kids. This is for like adults who weirdly want to see a child crying.
That like. Who is
I
that
guess maybe
for?
the puppy is supposed to be inspirational. It's supposed to be like, maybe the puppy is kind of supposed to be the focus. Like, hey, when you're down, you always got a friend to pick you up. But yeah, it does.
I feel like the puppy's a smokescreen. That's just me. I'm a cynic. Okay, sorry to interrupt you, but I had to mention.
No, that's too good. Yeah, Tuesday at 8. That's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great stuff here. Full House, I Love Lucy. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the martial arts theme going and say Three Ninjas.
Oh God,
this was a favorite of mine. Yeah, this is a karate movie combined with Home Alone. This was a movie where kids who knew karate also set traps and did a Home Alone to a bunch of burglars.
I always get it confused with Surf Ninjas. That's the one with Rob Schneider.
Oh yeah, that's the one with Rob Schneider doing a bunch of crazy voices. Yeah, these are similar films, although I think Surf Ninjas maybe a little more campy and inventive. I remember that movie had an integration with Sega to where a kid had a Game Gear, a portable system that I think was not released yet, kind of debuted in the movie, and the Game Gear told the future, like things that happened on the Game Gear would happen in the movie.
I love the fact that Game Gear you could have bought a TV tuner cartridge and watched TV on it. That was like the height of luxury.
I'm ahead of its time. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, I've pulled up eBay to see what the A Friend in Need dolls are going for now.
God, I would love to know.
Average price about $20. I'm actually shocked they're that much.
I was going to say it's either $5 or $40,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these things were kind of like the Beanie Babies of their time. Like, these are going to be valuable. You're going to want to save these crying children. And then.
But were there any Beanie Babies that were crying?
No.
I think that's where
what kind of psycho would want that?
I think that's. Okay. I just had $1 million idea. Anyway, Tuesday night, you're going with Three Ninjas, which.
Clinically depressed Beanie Babies.
I think had like 3 sequels. Those Three Ninjas Kick Back.
I remember, it's one of those where you're just like, it's like a Land Before Time. It's like an Air Bud where you're like, oh, this thing just went forever on video and then DVD.
Yeah.
I think I remember that there's a Three Ninjas sequel called High Noon at Mega Mountain. And I just remember that being an insane subtitle that I still don't know what it means. But
no, and I never want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I just like that phrase being in my brain. High Noon at Mega Mountain. What does it mean? Who knows?
You should
Could
use
mean
that.
Anything.
Use that in casual conversation at least once a week. Like today feels like, or if we don't do this on time, it's gonna,
Sorry, I'm late. It's real high noon at Mega Mountain at my house.
Yeah, and everyone will be like, I hear you.
I've been there.
Yep.
We've all been at Mega Mountain at high noon. So yeah, Three Ninjas at 8, and at 8:30, I'm gonna watch this rerun of I Love Lucy.
Fair enough. Although you missed Rock.
Yeah, I know. I thought about Rock, but I don't know. I Love Lucy again, just like a family viewing favorite. We always love to watch a Lucy rerun.
But
so,
Sister's on, where Tia and Tamara are having a slumber party.
Oh, I never watched Sister.
Brittany Murphy, Jackée Harry.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sticking with Lucy.
Sticking to your guns.
Sorry, I don't feel like I should have to splain myself.
No, that's fair.
I shouldn't have any splaining to do. And at 9:00, boy, this was tough. There's an episode of Tales from the Crypt, but I think I gotta watch Running Man, right?
Yeah.
Gotta watch Running Man at 9.
Yeah, I love that movie so much.
Me too. It's great.
Edgar Wright remaking it this year.
Really?
Yep.
That'll be fun.
I'm curious though, because it's obviously very different from the Stephen King story.
Sure.
And I had Paul Michael Glaser on, and he directed it, but he took over for another director. But he significantly changed the movie for they were way over budget. And he said his pitch to get that job was, I'm going to make this Killian story. Richard Dawson's going to be the actual star of this movie.
Okay.
Which is why that movie's amazing.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that they were over budget, because it does look delightfully cheap. That movie, like, everything is so rickety and janky. Yeah,
like a week in, they had blown the entire budget of the shoot, basically.
That's wild. Yeah, I know. And all the costumes just look like, they're from a party store. Everything looks like it was just like all the vehicles look like a kid's bike with stuff welded to it.
Right, but it works because it's supposed to
Yeah.
be like a shitty TV show, like with
Yeah,
Captain
I know.
Freedom and Jesse Ventura's that stupid, that armor on, and it's like
I
cardboard.
love the aesthetic of Running Man. It's great.
It's great.
Wouldn't change a thing.
No, it's perfect. The Tales from the Crypt that night, wow, this is coincidence. This episode stars William Hickey, the great William Hickey, but it's the directorial debut, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah.
And did he never direct again? Did he
Nope.
just do one episode of Tales from the Crypt?
One
and
episode
then
of
he's
Tales from the
out?
Crypt, and then he was out.
I don't care for it.
Yes.
I don't like being.
I'll
the
never
director.
work with anyone again after Hickey.
Those chairs are uncomfortable.
Maybe he either hated William Hickey so much he never wanted to direct again, or he loved William Hickey so much he was like, that's the top. That's high noon at
I'm going out on top.
it's high noon at the
Time to
mountain.
star in Twins.
Yeah, there's no way.
That's really funny. Tempted by all those. Tempted by Roseanne. John Larroquette, obviously a legend, but couldn't pass up Running Man. And then at 9:30, this is another one I haven't seen, but was just so intrigued when I Googled it, and I think maybe we've got some twin themes going with these picks of saucier, more adult fare, and then martial arts stuff. But there was this movie that fit into the saucy category called Body Double.
Yes, Brian De Palma.
Oh, okay. So this may be like an elevated saucy movie, right? Like this is maybe not the trash it would seem from the title.
Oh, it's trash, but it's intentional trash.
Okay.
And it's Brian De Palma. He's really going for, he's really trying to do a Hitchcock thing. It's sort of his remake of Rear Window.
God, there were so many of those in the 90s. So many of the, like, this is a Hitchcock, but more explicit
Putting the
dark
cock in Hitchcock.
sexuality.
But this is the only one that features a full music video by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, filmed
Whoa.
inside the Sunset Strip Tower Records, in which
I gotta watch this.
In which Rob Paulson, the voice of Pinky on Pinky and the Brain
gosh.
and many other cartoons, is the cameraman.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, wild.
Yes. Yeah. Melanie Griffith plays a porn star named Holly Body.
Wild.
Yeah. The lead actor is not Bill Maher, but looks exactly like Bill Maher.
I gotta watch Body Double. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you should watch Body Double.
Great.
You'll spend the whole movie confused, but somehow that'll be enjoyable.
Okay.
And they only give it 2 stars. They think it's as good as King Ralph.
Who are they? TV guide. I wouldn't trust these people to guide me through my own hallway.
I like 2-star movies, man. King Ralph, Body Double is my favorites.
How high did the stars go in TV Guide? 4?
5.
Is that the more 5? 5.
5.
Well, this now I don't even know what to think. Oh my god.
So Wednesday, what'd you do?
Wednesday. Okay, 8:00. 8:00. How could you say no to dinosaurs? The TGIF Henson production where dinosaurs were the Simpsons.
And was great. Like one of the most
I really liked
subversive shows
dinosaurs.
ever to get on television.
Yeah, totally. And I think, obviously this is kind of a popular trivia answer at this point, but they had their dark ass finale where the comet hits and all life is extinguished on Earth. Very fun way to end.
And that's
your
this
TGIF
episode,
show.
by the way. That's
Is it?
Yes, this is, and it's not a rerun. They burned, like, no pun intended, burned this off in the summer.
Really?
This is the last ever episode, the last time it ever aired. This is They All Die episode.
I gotta, then I'm confident. I'm even more confident in my pick to choose dinosaurs. Yeah, I was such a dinosaur kid growing up.
It's great. It's great. It's the last Henson thing that has his touch to it. 'Cause he worked on it.
A magical company. I did a little work for the Henson Corporation. It's one of the most fun things I've ever done. What a fucking dream factory.
You got to go to
is.
the studios.
Yeah, I got to go to the studios. I got to see, Fraggles in glass cases and
So jealous.
Dark Crystal puppets. It's so much fun.
Was it
I love it.
the talk show that Eliza was working on? Was it Earth to...
Yeah, Earth to Ned. Now
Ned,
now sadly not streaming anywhere. Earth to Ned.
Yeah.
Tons of fun. What a gig. What a show. We should be making season 5 of that thing right now. It's a real
was really
shame,
good.
but it was a real delight to work on. And yes, the Henson folks are some of the greatest geniuses in the history of entertainment. Yes. So yeah, dinosaurs. Yeah, I would love to revisit that. I bet that one that's not streaming anywhere either, right?
No, it isn't. But there's ways of seeing it.
Ooh, illicit ways. So yeah, dinosaurs at 8, and then at 8:30. Oh my gosh, this was exciting. The Critic.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought I was going to pick?
I knew you would pick that.
It stinks.
It's so good.
The show doesn't stink, but that's the catchphrase of its main character, Jay Sherman, the Critic.
Yes, played by John Lovitz. Yeah, that show's amazing. Again, only one
so
season,
funny.
and then a second, I think, got picked up by Fox for a season.
Yeah, it changed networks and then just lived in reruns on Comedy Central, I think, for years and years and years. And yeah, that's another one. You can kind of watch the full episodes on YouTube. It's so funny. I love, all the music, all the movie parodies were so great. Yeah, it's just what a funny show.
Also a show that I was surprised, it kind of got a second life as one of the first shows that were a TV on DVD. Like there was people a little younger than us that didn't see it when it first aired, but it became one of those big, like, you got to borrow this DVDs, like
right.
in the mid 2000s.
And that was kind of like what happened with Family Guy, right? Like Family Guy was a canceled in 2 seasons show that the DVDs were in everyone's dorm room, right? Yeah, The Critic. What a funny show, and John Lovitz. Just a hilarious guy, and what a funny VO performance. It's so good. I still remember so many of those line deliveries that he gave. Yeah, The Critic. Great show.
There's an episode of that I literally still laugh at least once a week. And
which one is it?
It's the one where his son goes to this international school, private school, and they have the talent show.
Oh yeah.
And there's the kid who does the song where all the lyrics are just pee pee poopy.
Right.
And they're all laughing, and the kid's like, "This is about the genocide of my country." And he starts again, and they're still all laughing. Oh.
I remember the episode where Siskel and Ebert played themselves.
Yes.
And they break up, and they're and Siskel and Ebert give really funny VO performances. They're great in this. Yeah. And there's one where they're auditioning new replacements, and Siskel is interviewing this guy who's just this kind of white bread dude, and he's like, Tim Allen proves once again that Disney might not make movies that win awards, but they keep audiences smiling. And he just goes, "You're Satan, aren't you?" And the guy turns into Satan.
Yes.
But just his delivery on, "You're Satan, aren't you?" is so funny. Anyway.
Well, they were so funny. Whenever they'd be on Letterman, it was always great.
Totally.
Just watching them on talk shows is fantastic. Like, I love being able to pull those up.
So The Critic at 8:30, and then maybe another sexy thriller that I've never seen but kind of want to. 9 o'clock, Jagged Edge.
Oh yeah.
Do you know anything about this one?
I do. I feel like this is also Tom Beringer, but let's see what TV Guide says. Where do you Jagged Edge? This one was one that I always remember seeing. Jeff Bridges. It's Jeff Bridges. Glenn Close and Jeff Bridges. This is from 1985. Suspenseful courtroom drama with Glenn Close as a lawyer and Jeff Bridges, her enigmatic client accused of murder. 3 stars.
I'm realizing that maybe I'm being drawn to these types of movies on this because I just got done listening to a season of You Must Remember This. Have you listened to that podcast? Mm-hmm. They do one about the kind of sexy thrillers of the 80s and 90s.
The erotic thrillers. The Shannon Tweed era. Andrew Stevens and Shannon Tweed.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I think I realized that this is kind of a fun genre of movies that I missed because I was a child who was a rule follower, so I would never try and sneak these movies. But
so you're not watching Strip
maybe
to
I guess
Kill
I would sneak a Ren and
Sanctum.
Stimpy every now and then. But this seemed like a bridge too far.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I'm very curious about this little moment in pop culture. So yeah, I think I would watch Jagged Edge out of curiosity. I was kind of, speaking of Tim Allen and shows that might not win awards but keep audiences smiling, I thought about Home Improvement, but was kind
Jagged
of
Edge
lured
is where
to
it's
the other
at.
extreme.
Thursday, speaking of those movies, there's a good example Thursday, but I'll wait till you get to 9 o'clock
good,
on
okay.
Thursday. So let's do Thursday.
9:30 on 9:30 on Wednesday. Grace Under Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Another big
Love
big
it.
hit in the Morris house. My mom and her extended family are all from the South, so like a show where people are very Southern was fun for us.
And really funny and blue collar, and that is relatively easy to watch now. Like MeTV or like all those digital comedy
Oh, yeah?
channels, they air that constantly, and it
Really?
holds up. It's very funny. Yeah.
I bet. Oh, I'm just gonna revisit some Grace Under Fire. Yeah, we loved that show, and yeah, that was one that kind of like went away, and at least to my knowledge wasn't available in reruns for a long time. But now maybe it's made a comeback.
And co-stars Dave Thomas, but the other one.
Connections. We're making connections.
Yep.
Everything. It's
Yep.
a web, and anyway. My mom
I
and
have a
ayahuasca.
huge
I guess I should have
whiteboard
mentioned.
behind me, everybody.
I took ayahuasca before we started this, so this
That's
is all
right.
blowing
That's
my
right.
mind.
We're all connected.
We're all connected. Yeah, so that's Wednesday, and I guess I'll start Thursday. So yeah, there's something I was tempted. I was tempted by American Ninja 4:
Yeah.
The Annihilation.
Yep. This is when Michael Dudikoff comes back to the American Ninja series after sitting part 3 out because he was protesting shooting movies in South Africa. Michael Dudikoff, 1 star, comes out of retirement to defuse a nuclear bomb.
Hell yeah. I love The Annihilation. Such a funny subtitle. So I think I'll move that to 8:30, and then at 8 o'clock I'll have to watch The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say no. Even to this day, I couldn't say no to an episode of Simpsons that was just randomly on TV. So, yeah.
This is the one where he wins the radio contest and gets a stupid
the
prize
elephant?
over the cash prize. Yeah.
Stampy.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah, so watching The Simpsons at 8, and then 8:30 I'll switch over to American Ninja 4: The Annihilation.
1 star.
I don't believe it. Again.
Well, his name's Michael
Who
Dudikoff.
are the blue-blooded snobs giving out these stars? Yeah, so yeah, so I think so Simpsons at 8, American Ninja 4 The Annihilation at 8:30, and then 9 o'clock I had a hard time choosing between Seinfeld and In Living Color. I didn't love Seinfeld in its original run. I kind of discovered it later. I had a roommate who had all the Seinfeld DVDs, and I'm like, oh yeah, Seinfeld was great. I kind of just missed it. At the time, I was way more into In Living Color. I loved that show. That's probably one that doesn't hold up great because of the topicality and maybe because it is too problematic to enjoy. But
Yeah. It's a little lazy, some of the writing, too.
sure, I'm sure.
The jokes are a little thin.
As a 12-year-old, this was so up my alley.
For sure.
I loved this show.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite here because I loved Seinfeld when it was on, and when I try to rewatch it now, I really don't like it very much.
Oh yeah, it's such a weird product.
Well, it's a plot show. It's a plot show, so like the surprise of the plots once you know them, to me it wasn't.
Right.
It's not really that funny anymore. It feels really dated in a bad way, and it's not like it's certainly not a feel good show. But I hated In Living Color by this point. I loved the first 2 seasons of In Living Color, and I'd totally given it up by this point. But this is the season Chris Rock was on.
Really? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot Chris Rock was on In Living Color.
Yeah, he quit SNL and was in the cast of In Living Color for the final season. And Marshall Warfield is also in this episode.
Oh, neat.
And she's also guest starring in that episode of the John Larroquette Show earlier in the week.
And, you know, how about those Fly Girls, right? Am I right,
Yeah.
Ken? Come on.
J-Lo.
J-Lo, yeah. This was one where I watched In Living Color not just for the yucks, but you know, you're looking for babes wherever you can find them.
We get it.
Yeah.
It's that kind of summer.
Fewer hotter ladies on TV in 1994 than the Fly Girls.
Yeah.
And so at 9:30, I think I'm going Frasier at 9:30. This is one that I only kind of recently there's a bunch of like on Paramount Plus and on Pluto. There's like, classic sitcom streaming channels, and I will just throw on a Frasier mid-episode and just love it as, kind of aquarium-like background ambiance. And I've really grown to appreciate Frasier. And I do actually like to watch it. I think I really appreciate that, like, David Hyde Pierce is giving, like, an all-time great comedy performance. I didn't love this show as a kid, and, like, in kind of the let's all rewatch Frasier renaissance, I was kind of late to that. But I'm kind of in it now where I realize, like, oh, this is why this show has stuck around in the way that it has. It has some great stuff.
This is the Christmas episode airing in July.
Okay.
I hated this show so much. I still don't like it, but I feel like I need to sit down and really watch it because I love Cheers. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, it is not better than Cheers. Like, no. Cheers is like such a great ensemble, and like the fact that Frasier is so focused on Frasier is to its detriment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's some shit in it that's just so good, and he is great in his own way, but like, the ensemble is kind of amazing in it.
I love Eddie.
Eddie's a legend.
Yeah.
Him and David Faustino are just
Faustino, Eddie, and Tom
doing
Beringer.
shots at the Rainbow Room.
The movie you passed up, one star, 1993 film. It is the edited for TV version though, because it's airing on USA Network, and it is Snapdragon, the big screen debut of Pamela Anderson.
Oh, no way.
And this is an erotic thriller.
How could I miss this one? I've never heard of this.
It gets 1 star. This is a ripoff of Basic Instinct. This is lurid tale of an amnesiac played by Pamela Anderson, who is haunted by dreams of a murderous lookalike.
This is on Tubi right now for free.
Oh, you should watch. This is wonderfully terrible. Like this. Do
you have a Patreon? Can we review Snapdragon on Patreon? I'll do it.
Let's do it. We should do that because it is, my God, it single-handedly killed her film career. And it took another like 6 years till they were like, I guess we'll try Barbed Wire. And then they're like, it's not happening.
I was going to say Barbed Wire, right?
Yeah. But it's bad. And they pumped a bunch of money into promoting this. Because she was massive from Baywatch at this point. So they were like, this is a slam dunk, man. Yeah.
And the tagline appears to just be a psychosexual thriller.
That's the tagline.
Oh man. Yeah, okay. I'll stick with Frasier, but apparently I've made a grave error.
That's right up there with the have you ever seen the film Pieces?
No,
very bizarre slasher film. But it had one of my favorite taglines ever, which was, it's exactly what you think it is. That was the tagline on the poster.
I don't really think it's anything.
Oh, genius.
Wow.
Also, before we move on to the final...
but what was it? I've never...
it's a slasher movie where this kid in the pre-credits he's like 10 and he's putting together a puzzle of like naked women. And his mom comes in and is like, what are you doing? And beats the shit out of him. And then they fast forward like 20 years later and some guy is chopping up women with a chainsaw on a college campus and keeping pieces of them. And you don't know who's it going to be, but there's so much weirdness in it. The ending is one of the great shock non sequiturs you'll never see coming. It will stick with you forever. There's a random character who knows Kung Fu for no reason. It was directed by an Italian guy who spoke no English. He shot a lot of it in Boston. It takes place here. It is completely insane. It's the same guy who made the movie Slugs.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure.
You're probably familiar with that. Yeah.
Well,
Pieces.
Yeah, of course. We've all seen Slugs.
Pieces had a second tagline, which wasn't as good, but it was, you don't have to go to Texas to have a massacre.
No, that's good. Some good copywriting on, although it's exactly what you think it is. I guess it's intriguing.
You can't beat that. And before we move on page 77 of the PDF here, there's an ad for an AIDS calendar.
Okay.
And it says, everything you want to know about AIDS, get the AIDS 18-month calendar.
That's okay. It seems like if this is to be preventative, don't you want all the information in January?
You flip back and you're like, this would have been helpful last
Oh,
month.
fuck. Condoms.
Maybe that's why it's an
Condoms should be
18 month.
November.
That's why it's an 18-month calendar. The 6 months extra are pre. It's like at the
Right.
beginning of the year. That's where you learn all this stuff, and the rest is just like sexy condoms. Friday night, final night of the week.
Friday night, this is another fun one. Yeah, this is tough. Family Matters, of course.
If it helps, there's guest stars in this episode of Family Matters.
It might.
The
Who are the guest
Bushwhackers.
Oh,
WWF's
yeah,
Bushwhackers.
let's do it. Family Matters.
Urkel creates quote unquote a snooze juice insomnia cure that knocks the tag team out.
So this is in the era of like Urkel is doing sci-fi shit, and that is the driver of the plot. Like it's not. It's no longer a family show. It is a sci-fi comedy about an insane inventor who likes cheese.
There's also a second guest star. I'm counting the Bushwhackers as one person,
Okay,
but there's a second guest star.
They're a tag team duo.
Michael Chambers, better
Okay,
known
who
as
is?
Boogaloo Shrimp.
I don't know. Yes, this is not.
Oh, he's the world's
You
greatest.
saying Boogaloo Shrimp did not ring any bells for
He's
me.
the world's greatest breakdancer. He's the star of Breakin' and Breakin' 2. He did all.
my
He
God.
doubled Jennifer Beals in Flashdance.
Wow.
He was in the Dom
Okay.
DeLuise show.
Yeah, let's do it. Family Matters, love it. And then at 8:30, how do you say no to Cliffhanger, right?
Yeah, hardest Sega
this-
CD game ever.
Yeah, because it had snowboarding levels. Yeah, Cliffhanger, just a great action movie from my childhood. I think John Lithgow doing a kind of a thick Russian accent in that, right?
Lithgow,
Lithgow, excuse me.
according to him.
Excuse me. And I think he had a soccer goon too, right?
Yes.
Didn't he have a goon that was like good at soccer, and so he did like kick moves on everyone?
Yep.
Love it, Cliffhanger. And I think I remember a Cliffhanger parody in the Critic. I think there's a Cliffhanger parody where he's holding on to a woman who's holding on to a kid who's holding on to a dog, right?
Yes, there is.
Great gag. Yeah, Cliffhanger seems like it would have been one of those movies that just had 9 sequels, but Cliffhanger and Demolition Man didn't seem like they never got their sequel that they should have.
Demolition Man was universally seen as a bad movie, and I think a lot but beloved ironically. Cliffhanger, everybody loved. Like, it did huge box office numbers. It was a huge movie, and no one ever talks about it now. No one's ever like, Cliffhanger rules. It's just sitting in a box.
I'm like that. I say that.
You're the guy.
People aren't talking to me.
Yeah, it's you. That and Backdraft are in this forgotten back room of gigantic movies that no one cares about now.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, geez, that'd be a fun one to revisit. I bet that one is like actually good, right?
Yeah,
Is
there's
that a
some
Rennie
really.
Harlan, right?
Yep, Rennie Harlan.
Okay.
Post Nightmare on Elm Street 4, pre Long Kiss Goodbye.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going Cliffhanger at 8:30, and then at 9 o'clock, let's go back over to TGIF for a little step by step, huh?
Yep.
A little salty, a little sweet.
Yeah, although Step by Step got a little raunchy. Although this one is the Christmas episode again, because this was a big thing where the sitcoms would show their Christmas episodes again in July. This one, Don
didn't know
Knotts
that.
guest stars, basically playing Barney Fife.
Great. I didn't know that the sitcoms did the Christmas rerun thing. That's funny.
Christmas in July. That was the big thing.
Oh,
They would
wow.
always, for whatever weird reason, would schedule the Christmas one to air in July.
Huh.
I don't know why.
Terrific.
You did pass up, if you like weird action movies, the 1989 movie Blind Fury, 2 stars.
Okay.
Stars Rutger Hauer as a Vietnam vet turned sightless samurai. And the villain is Terry O'Quinn.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think I will stick with Step by Step, but that's tempting. Tempting.
Fair enough.
And then at 9:30, I think let's finish out my picks and finish out the week here at TGIF with a little Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Good show.
Yeah.
Holly Robinson Pete, really good on it.
Yeah, totally.
I love that show. Again, was it Mark Curry, right? Mark Curry.
Yeah.
Good stand-up. No one, I don't know what's he doing now.
Yeah, I feel like I know a lot of stand-up, like older stand-ups who are like, Mark Curry, he was great. People know him as Mr. Cooper, but he was one of the greats.
He's alive.
Yeah, alive.
He had a hit show. So, Jordan, as you know, TV Guide is not just informative. It has opinions and it cheers and it jeers. So to finish up this week of July 1994, I'd like to read you the cheers and jeers of this week. See if you agree or disagree.
Great.
It's a split week. We have 2 cheers, 2 jeers. I'll start with the jeers.
Okay, let's hear them.
Cheers to you 810,938 Nick at Night viewers who think Samantha has more power than Jeannie. In a viewer's poll to decide which sitcom sprite packed the most mystic muscle, Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, the Nick at Nuts picked Simpy Samantha by about 200,000 votes. Are you crazy? Sam didn't even have enough wattage to keep the same Darren for the run of her show. She also received frequent paranormal assists from Endora and her TV coven. Meanwhile, Bottled Beauty Jeannie not only kept Major Nelson in a trance for 5 seasons, she wed him, kept her evil sister in check, and did it all with nothing but her crossed arms. We think Tabitha was stuffing the ballot box.
Whoa, this person. And to blame the Darren recasting on her not being magically powerful enough, that's unfair.
I am staunchly a Samantha in this scenario, so I cannot disagree with this more.
Wild. Yeah, and getting so worked up about this anyway.
Plus Jeannie, she had a master. Samantha could do whatever she wanted.
Right. Yeah.
You're wrong, TV Guide. Cheers.
I'm sorry. I will not jeer along with you, TV Guide.
Absolutely not.
I will rather cheer this poll.
Cheers, rather, to Sirajul and Muji Bar's coast-to-coast journey on The Late Show.
Yeah.
The ongoing sojourn of the buddies from Bangladesh is the funniest thing on Dave's show since his mom hit Lillehammer. True.
Oh yeah, so I remember all this is Dave sent his mom to Lillehammer for the Olympics.
Oh, that's right. And
his mom is just kind of a nice Midwestern lady, and they kind of made her do all these interviews, and I loved the kind of unlikely correspondent bits that Letterman did. Like I think in hindsight, like the Mujibur and Sirajul thing,
little racist.
Was maybe like let's put these guys on camera because their English isn't great.
Right.
I think I don't think it was done with ill intent, but I think it's maybe a little icky today.
Yeah.
But in
Rupert was funny.
I did. Huh?
Rupert from the Hello Deli was funny.
Oh yeah, Rupert G from Hello Deli. I definitely liked all these weirdo man on the street things that Dave did, and I think later he got his cue card guys involved in this stuff, and Larry Bud Melman.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I remember thinking this was funny, but in hindsight, I feel a little cringy about it.
Yeah. So let's maybe give this a retroactive jeer.
Fair enough. Jeers to a colossal duh to Tim Allen's agents, managers, producers, or whoever forgot to submit the Home Improvement star's name as an Emmy entrant. Seems everyone assumed that someone else did the necessary paperwork, and it was only after the deadline had passed that he realized Allen hadn't been included. So when the Emmy nominations are announced on July 21st, don't look for the star of television's top-rated series to get one. Brain improvement, anyone?
Brain.
What a bullshit. Like, they knew he wasn't going to get nominated, so they made up a story saying they forgot to nominate him. 100%.
Oh, no, Tim. Oh, you probably would have won.
Oh, I forgot to mail it.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I promise I'll get that brain improvement I've been meaning to get.
Oh, my God. What a bullshit story someone made up.
That's hilarious. Yeah, maybe it was even to the point where they're like, we need to get TV Guide to print something or else Tim Allen will feel bad.
He'll believe it then. Yeah. Wow. Also, that's a cheer. That for me. And finally, cheers to Univision announcer Andres Cantor for breathing life into World Cup soccer coverage. Univision, Isn't that the Spanish language channel? See. And Cantor's enthusiasm for the sports hurdles the language barrier. Sure, ABC and ESPN's coverage has been adequate, but something's missing. When the U.S. team beat heavily favored Colombia, the home field advancers and announcers didn't sound overly excited. In contrast, when Cantor cries, "Goal!" it takes him about 5 minutes just to get it out. You might just pop an eardrum. If you're not quick enough with the volume control, now that's enthusiasm.
I do remember this guy's little moment in the sun, and I do think Letterman did a lot with him too. I think Letterman had him on to yell goal at a lot of things.
There was a bunch of top 10 lists they did that, like, the joke ended up being him yelling goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this. I think this is maybe it doesn't have the icky aftertaste of the Mujibur and Sirajul thing. Yeah. So yeah, I'm into this. Let's call this a cheer.
I agree. Well, thank you for doing this again. It's been nice.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
We'll bring the world our erotic thriller spinoff this summer, and everyone will watch Snapdragon.
The weather's heating up, and so is the movies that we talk about.
Well, we could steal a tagline.
We'll workshop that tagline. Tagline's not perfect.
CBS had a late night programming block in 1987 that gave us Midnight Caller, Silk Stockings, and Nick Knight.
Oh, yeah.
And their tagline was, "It's too hot to sleep."
Okay.
So,
So turn on the air or open a window.
Rub yourself in Noxzema. It's exactly what you think it is.
Take off those flannel sheets.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Oh, baby, I see you in my TV set, yeah, baby, I see you in my TV set. I cut your head off and put it in my TV set. I use your eyeballs.
There you go. That's Jordan. If you want to email me, if you have any comments about this episode or guests you'd like me to have on the show or have back on the show, you can email me at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or ken@icanread.com. Or if you're a patron, just message me on there, patreon.com/tvguidancecounselor. You can Google Patreon and TV Guidance Counselor. Little as $1 a month is helpful to the show. $5 and up, you would have got a PDF of this week's issue with Cindy Crawford on the moon. Well worth $5 a month, but money's tight. I understand. And if you give me nothing, I just appreciate you listening. If you have a second and want to review the show, you can counteract some of the 1-star reviews I got. People who think I'm mentally ill, which I am. But I don't think that would warrant a 1-star review of the podcast. Anyway, that's a conversation we could have on email if you want to email me, or I'll probably continue it speaking to myself next week on a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
I'm going to take a little patty whack break midway through if you don't mind. It relaxes me.